Welcome back to Rise and Shine, the Ability Connection Colorado podcast. My name is Jared, and very soon we're going to Ireland to go on Charlie's journey. Another inspiring story from the Infantile Scoliosis Outreach Program, and I cannot wait for you to meet the Ferrises standing by in their Northern Ireland home, and we'll bring them to you. First, though, we must mention, coming up soon is the Ability Connection Colorado auction. It's the Wine in the Pines auction, as we're not going to do Keystone this year. We need to retool, and I'm looking forward to the future, which I think could also include an auction like we're pulling off now, which is going to be big. We have a lot of incredible items. My buddy Chris, who works at Ability Connection Colorado, the legendary Terry, and myself and others pulling together community dinners, professional services, gifts, so you can get something you need or maybe you want to get for someone else while benefiting Ability Connection Colorado. And you can see we're right, our little QR code is right there. Don't make us twist your arm, but there we go. And you can choose to give to any program or to all our programs. But the program we're going to talk about today is the Infantile Scoliosis Outreach Program. And now going to Ireland to talk to the Ferris family. And Donna, tell us more about Charlie's journey.
Charlie was diagnosed. We kind of suspected something when he was a few weeks old. I had it in my head, but I was afraid to say it out loud in case it came true.
And then I said it and you were real angry at me.
Jody was like, there's his wee back, this wild, funny shape.
It's like a small wee dent in his back,
And then I was so mad, I was cross because I was like, he's seen what I've been thinking, what I've seen. So we took him to the pediatrician because he was attending the pediatrician for poor feeding. And the pediatrician, she said to me, Charlie's getting enough to do him, but what is wrong with you? Because she could see how anxious I was. And I said, look, I think that there's something wrong with his wee back. It's a wild, funny shape. And she says, let me take a look. And I pulled his wee vest up. And she said, yeah, I can see that there's something there. She says, let's send him round for x-ray. And I was on my own with him. So I brought him round for x-ray, and then she brought me back into her office and she says, look, this is Charlie's spine on the screen. And she said, there's clearly a curve there. And, we're going to have to refer him on to orthopedics.
Donna, I just wanted to interrupt real quick and applaud and apologize to you, because I have a feeling that what is going on in the background is something you're used to.
No, I'm just conscious in case these are recording and then they're making background noise.
Stop it.
Sorry. Uh-oh.
So she referred us on to Musgrave in Belfast, and we saw a spinal consultant down there, and he made quite light of it, and he said, yep, Charlie has a curve. Didn't tell us any further information.
We were just going, doctors over here are so different for doctors. They're put kind of on a pedestal. It's like a priest, or people are afraid of the doctors and they just hang on every word. Wouldn't that be right, Donna?
Yeah. So he was quite matter of fact. He says,
dismissive.
Best case scenario, Charlie won't need anything. Worst case scenario, he'll have to go into a plaster jacket. So he patted my husband on the back and he says, don't Google. So we left, and he says, I'll see you back in 3 months. So 3 months came and went, and we didn't Google. And I just prayed night and day that things would get better. And
we took him to different wee holy water and holy wee.
Yeah, just different people to bless him and pray for him, and
just your usual Catholic thing. Just put our faith in God and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. And the 3 months came and went. And Charlie was now 7 months old, and we were sent back for an appointment at Musgrave.
If you slide that back in that horse,
and they had us X-ray Charlie again, but this time it was a different type of X-ray. This type of X-ray, Charlie was suspended. So Jody and I were holding him by his forearms, and Charlie was dangling in midair, which we know now wasn't the correct way to X-ray anybody. First time he was actually laying down with his arms above his head. So we weren't comparing like for like, but we had no idea because we had no
Two
knowledge
totally
of the
different
Well, the
condition.
pictures.
suspension X-ray would definitely make the curve appear to be less. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it wasn't. Unfortunately, it looked worse. So he said, Charlie has a very aggressive progressive curve, and this needs addressed immediately. So we were like, what do we do? You know, what's going to happen? And he says he's going to go into a plaster jacket.
We were fine, Donna. We went in happy as could be, thought everything was okay.
Mhm.
And then
Because
when
he'd
you were
been eating and stuff. And then he
And
said all that.
he said that it needed addressed immediately. He needed to go into a plaster jacket until he would be old enough for rod surgery. And we said, well, you know, can we go private? How do we speed this up? What do we do? And he again patted Jody on the back and he says, spend your money on a good holiday.
That's what he said.
So we left and we didn't know what to ask because
You hadn't been Googling.
we hadn't been Googling, we hadn't researched it. We put our trust in God that he would send us a different direction. But unfortunately, Charlie's curve was of the progressive type and it did need treatment. So I probably cried for about 4 days and nights solid. And then I gathered myself together and that's when I started my research.
You stopped eating, you stopped sleeping.
Oh, yeah. I was so anxious. I didn't know what to do, but I started my research and I joined so many groups on Facebook.
Go use and play it, this one.
And on Facebook,
Is it okay if they go?
on Facebook, I had no idea that there was different types of, you know, scoliosis.
Charlie's dancing now that he's
Because
got
he's
away.
what are you talking about?
He's going like this.
There was different types of groups. There was adolescent groups. There was juvenile, and there was also early onset groups. So I had no idea of the differences, but I started to quickly learn. But on a lot of the groups, I was reading a lot about surgeries. I was like, I can't, as a parent, I couldn't handle this. And then I found Heather's group, early onset scoliosis and metacasting group. And on that group, that's when I finally found hope for Charlie. I could see so many before and after photos of babies' backs, babies' x-rays.
Hope.
And I could see that there were babies being corrected and cured by casting. So I found a girl local to me and I was curious what this cast was going to look like. So she showed me her child that had a plaster cast on, plaster jacket that was applied in Belfast. And then I could see other casts in this casting group and I started to question. I said, there's differences here. What are these differences? Why do these casts look so different? And that's when the parents started to reach out to me to answer my questions. And I quickly realized there were different types of casts available and casting techniques. Metacasting was designed to potentially correct the curve, whereas other casts were designed only to hold the curve and delay surgery. And this is the type of cast that Charlie was going to get in Belfast. So I thought, for me, it was a no-brainer. I started to research then where I could get this cast, and it wasn't available in the UK and Ireland, Europe, anywhere. And the closest hospital was Shriners Hospital for Children in Philadelphia on the east coast of America. I contacted the hospital and they said that they accepted international patients, and I started the application process. And
I thought you'd gone.
Jody was
Thought
like,
you'd gone crazy. I just thought.
We were prepared to do anything. We were prepared to sell the house
That's
and
right.
move.
Leave our business, the whole thing.
everything
We didn't
just
care.
up sticks and go, because we had hope for Charlie.
You just knew, Donna.
I just knew.
You just
You
knew.
went with your
I knew.
maternal intuition. I mean, your gut was
Yep.
screaming at you, like, I need to get there.
We needed to give him the best possible chance of avoiding surgery, and he wasn't going to get that here. So we knew that we had to do something, because as a parent, it wasn't just one surgery that Charlie was going to face. It was endless years of surgery. And there was no knowing, when hardware is placed in the spine, what can go right or go wrong.
Complication rates of spinal surgery in pediatric patients is, I think, what is it, 98%? That's the complication rate. So
That's crazy.
Almost inevitable.
We applied to the hospital. Doctor, am I allowed to say the names?
Go ahead.
Yep. So Dr. Pace seen our application, and he expedited it because Dr. Pace is the head of the casting program in Philadelphia Shriners, and he understands the urgency with treating this condition. It's very, very time sensitive, and it's, a few months could mean the difference between a cure and facing surgery. So within 4 weeks of applying to the hospital, Charlie's application was expedited, and we were over there for an MRI of the spine, consultation with Dr. Pace, and Charlie's first cast. So Charlie was 9 months old when he received his first cast. They got us there.
It was phenomenal. It was.
So
what year was that?
That was in 2016.
Okay, so that's why I was kind of absent for a minute. Right.
Yes, that's right. So we just knew. I knew as soon as I arrived at the hospital. There's an advert that Shriners in Philadelphia had going at that time, and we could hear it in the background. And we had hope. I had hope for Charlie. I knew that we were in the right place. We were greeted at the desk in the lobby, and we were told that everything was going to be okay.
The lady on the telephone told when you first rang, Donna knew. Basically, I was away at work in England, and Donna rang me and she said, I can get Charlie help in America. And I says, are you sure you're feeling okay? I says, because she had been having a tough time, and she says, I've never been clearer in all my life. And I says, well, then let's go, whatever you want to do. So 3 or 4 weeks later, we were there. And the treatment was unbelievable.
And as soon as we met Dr. Pace, I just knew he was in the hands of an expert. We were
his kindness
totally reassured. He was so humble. He was so gentle. He explained everything in terms that we understood. He went into detail about everything.
Reassured.
And he reassured us, and we just knew that we couldn't ask for anywhere better for Charlie to be treated, or anybody better to treat him. They were just incredible, and he was just incredible. He had just an amazing team, and we knew that we'd made the right decision.
Did this mean that you would have to live in Pennsylvania for a while?
We weren't prepared to do that. We did go to Stormont in Belfast to see if it was a possibility that our family could get visas to move over there, but unfortunately it wasn't a possibility. But we later quickly learned that Charlie could fly with a cast. So we knew that we were going to be able to fly back and forward. And we were prepared to do that, and that was going to be every 8 weeks.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we had fantastic support from our family, from our local community,
your mama,
and everybody near and far. They were so good, and they helped us fundraise to be able to afford the flights and the car hires and any funds that we needed. And my family then stepped into my shoes and our shoes. When we were away, they looked after the other 3 kids. So we just knew that it was the right thing to do. So yeah, that was what we did. We flew over every 8 weeks.
You're one of a kind, Donna. Like Jared, I don't think you realize this, but once you leave care from a doctor in the UK, they won't see your child anymore. So
Dismiss you.
That's correct. We were discharged
to leave care and come to this country if you're in the.
So you become ostracized locally?
Basically, they wouldn't even X-ray him here. They won't even give him an X-ray. We had to go to England. We had to go to America at Christmas.
For an
We had to
X-ray,
fly to Philadelphia
Jared, an X-ray.
to get an X-ray. They wouldn't do it.
There's no low-dose scanners
There
here
is,
in the
Donna.
north. There's not, but there is some in the south, and we were prepared to pay to get those X-rays taken. But unfortunately, we were turned down. We did try England, but it was going to be more expensive to fly over to England and get the
1 hour
X-rays
flight.
done.
London.
And Dr. Pace was more than happy to see us, so we were happy then just to book the flights and have him check him over and have the X-ray, because as you know, Heather, with this condition there is so many X-rays involved, and for me it's very important that Charlie has low dose X-rays.
Plus the peace of mind of Dr. Pace that has been with him through his
Right
whole
through.
journey.
Yeah.
You have that peace of mind that he knows his whole history, and they love him, like they're like nearly like family to
They
us.
are.
They're so
It's like a
so
family.
When you
good.
find a doctor like him, you hold on tight.
He really is one of a
Hold on
kind.
tight.
Kindness of them all, amazing.
Yep, they're all incredible, absolutely incredible. So, yep, we were discharged out of the care of Belfast and told any future follow-ups must be sought elsewhere.
You were just an over anxious mother. That's what
Yeah,
they said.
they said I
Neurotic.
was an over anxious parent.
Are you neurotic?
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
yeah, they've called me crazy too, Donna, but it's okay.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm. If they were to walk in your shoes, they would understand the lengths that you would be prepared to go to.
Mommy's no best.
So you have 3 other kids. What at this time is happening with the family dynamic?
Closer than ever we could be. Always.
Yeah,
very, very close, all 6 of them.
They were they 5, 7, and 9 when we first made the journey to Philadelphia? We actually took them with us for the first trip, because we were going to be over for 2 weeks. So we took them with us, and they're very compassionate kids. You know, they understand. You know,
We knew Charlie needed help, and they were gonna just.
And you know, for other wee kids, they're now, I would say, more sympathetic and more compassionate, because they know what Charlie has been through. So, they're good kids.
Any little thing that any of our children need, they seem to, their cousins and things, they would drop everything to help. It's just the way they are. It's just like their mama. That's the way their mama is. Kind and good and helpful and loving and just good person.
All the things that mummies are.
So you had this woman reach out to you locally, and I'm wondering, have you had the opportunity and experience to help other people since then?
So when we started out on this journey back in 2016, when Charlie was diagnosed and when we were about to make that first trip, the night before we flew, I put a post on Facebook just asking if everybody would pray for us and pray for Charlie, keep him in their prayers, because we were about to embark on a big journey. And then everybody was reaching out to me, and I thought the easiest way for me to get back to everybody rather than get back individually was to set up a Facebook page. So I set up a Facebook page called Charlie's Journey with Infantile Scoliosis, and I documented the whole journey throughout. And since page, I have had numerous people reach out to me that have found themselves in the same shoes as us. Some of those wee children have self-resolved. Some of them have went on to need treatment. And if they haven't been able to follow in the same footsteps as us, I try to, and I'm not saying that I'm any expert. I'm just a mummy that has been in their shoes, but I can, given the knowledge that I have now, I can try and advise them as best I can. So we have about 15 families now that have, from the UK and Ireland, that have followed in our footsteps and have made the journey to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask, when I mentioned the Facebook page, your husband laughed, and I don't want to cause marital issues, but what's the story?
No, it's just she didn't do any of it for herself. She just done it all to create awareness, and
to raise awareness.
We'd be lying in bed at 10 o'clock at night, and then I'd fall asleep, and then the next thing I'd woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I could see this just a wee blue face because this phone. She was just, and then I'd have came from work, and she'd have said, "Such and such has called me," and there was people would come to our house for their children to get Donna to look at them and everything. That's the truth. She's such an advocate for, she's such a fighter to help. I don't know. I'm not I don't know, not great with words, but she'll do anything to help anybody, and has done. And her wee page, she just puts all her effort into it, and always did. And
I'm so grateful to have you on the team, Donna.
I'm so grateful
and
for you.
I'm so grateful for you.
So grateful.
You paved the way for us all, Heather.
Just stay on the group, please, and help us talk to new families all the time.
I will always be
getting tougher,
there.
Isn't it?
Because back then I felt so alone and isolated, and you just felt on your own and you didn't know who to turn to. So it's great. There was other parents there on that group. I just described that group as my lifeline, and it was my lifeline throughout this journey.
Still is for many people.
But those parents to me were my lifeline, and they were just my go-to. And I'm so grateful to be able to be at this end and give advice and be there for other parents, because we can understand how they are feeling when they're just starting out in this journey, when they just get diagnosed, and you can understand because we've been in their shoes.
If I can just give you one wee example, Donna and me were up in Belfast on Saturday or Sunday shopping. We're going for a holiday. We're going on holiday, and we're getting a few bits and pieces. And my neighbour, a girl, same age as me, her mother just happened to be shopping, and I says, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And she says to me, "Just the boy I'm looking for." I hadn't seen the woman in 20 years easy. And she says, "Give me your phone number." And I says, "No problem, Mary." She says, "Your wee boy had a wee problem with his spine, scoliosis, blah, blah, blah." We went through the conversation. I says, "It's not me you need to speak to. It's Donna. This is how regular this can become."
I love it, Donna. Like we always talk about, it doesn't matter if it takes 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, or 10. There will be someone that has a cousin, that has a sister, that has a baby with scoliosis, and they will find you. The universe will get this child to you, and you will have the knowledge to help them.
Through the Facebook page.
Time.
She's followed Charlie's journey, and she saw it through the page, and now her nephew, your great nephew, has a child. And the child is 3,
and it's
just diagnosed.
What? See, there you go.
Has the National Health Service adopted Meta casting at all?
They say
it's the Wild West out there.
Yeah, they say when Charlie was diagnosed, and I had started to question, and I spoke to the doctor and I says, can you apply this type of cast? And he says, we do a version of it. But when I saw his version, I knew it was very different to what they were offering in America.
It's like a jack of all trades and a master of none, unfortunately.
So there's huge differences in in the cast and the casting techniques, and I suppose newly diagnosed parents don't understand that. They don't understand maybe the importance of finding a doctor that is experienced in applying proper metacasts.
I'm so glad you bring that up. It's obviously you need to find a highly experienced doctor, and the techniques are important. They're critical. But so are the materials. I'm seeing a lot of pure fiberglass casting now.
Yeah.
And I'm spending a lot of time speaking to parents that are headed to the emergency room.
Yes.
Get these pure fiberglass casts cut off because their children are developing huge skin wounds.
Yep. And those waterproof. Yep, material is everything, and again, parents don't understand that, so it's important to educate them on that. We see in the group children with like waterproof casts, which aren't really recommended, the Gore-Tex lining, and they end up with huge sores, which can postpone treatment, delay treatment, because you cannot apply a cast over a child that has developed sores or skin irritation or breakdown, and that's huge.
And I mean, maybe you can elaborate on your experience with plaster of Paris. I mean, it's clearly or it would be reasonable at some point for a child, even with the plaster of Paris cast, to perhaps experience some skin issues, maybe in the summertime, maybe.
Maybe for us, we had none. The whole week, Charlie had 12 casts applied, and he had never had any issues with skin breakdown at all. In fact, he was always most comfortable in his cast when the cast came off for those 48 hours before a new cast was applied, just to let the skin breathe and for the spine to relax before the new x-ray. He missed the cast. Believe it or not, he missed it. He was comfortable in it, and it was just a part of him. And we had never had any issues at all. Just
very good.
Yeah, we looked after it really well, made sure that he had the proper bibs on when he was eating and drinking. He didn't get bathed, so he just had little sponge baths. And
we loved getting them bathed then.
Then we also flossed him in the cast, so if there was any crumbs down and underneath, and just to scratch his back, he loved that. So we would get the leg of a pair of tights, or you call them pantyhose. We call them tights, and we cut the leg, and we threaded it through the cast, and we would rub his back while he lay on his belly, up and down, and he loved it. He absolutely loved that. He used to say, again.
So what is Charlie into now? Charlie, you're there. You could probably respond to this, but what are you doing now?
What are you doing now? What have you got?
He's eating a chocolate pancake
over here.
This is his hurl. This is it's one of the fastest games in the world. It's like Irish lacrosse.
Oh wow!
Irish lacrosse.
What do you call it, Charlie? Hurling.
It's the fastest. They say it's the fastest hand to ball sport in the world. I don't know.
Wow.
So it's hurling. It's called. It's a really old traditional
Irish game.
Massive sport in Ireland. You catch the ball in one hand.
Get me to get the ball.
Get your ball. You catch the ball in one hand and you can run so far with it, and then you hit it. You can hit it 60, 70 yards.
Well, there you go, Mom and Dad. Less than a decade ago, you were wondering what was next, and look at him now.
We would. I mean, back then I was so anxious. We didn't know what lay ahead, but we had hope. As soon as we arrived at Shriner's door, we had hope for Charlie, and like he's so blessed. He is so blessed. He had 12 properly applied Medicasts. He moved to and he had 3 full-time braces and 1 nighttime only brace. And for the last, it'll be 4 years now this July, he's been cast and brace free. So he has had no casts, no braces. And he had his x-ray back in December there once a year now. And his spine is completely straight. There's nothing there to measure at all.
This is what it's all about, Donna. If we can get these kids casted early and properly, they don't have to live the entirety, the duration of their childhood in casts and braces. They're done by the time they're 3 and 4.
Exactly.
Done. Forever.
And we see so many parents in the group, and the kids, the doctors are saying, well, we'll wait until they're walking, and let's wait until they're 2 before, we look at treatment. And all that time is wasted. All that time is wasted. It's just, hang on, son. It's so important to get them diagnosed, to get the x-rays taken to show that there is, because a lot of the doctors are reluctant to x-ray the kids, but it's more detrimental to not x-ray them, x-ray them and see if there is a curve and then address it. But it's so time sensitive. Time is of the essence, and getting them into a cast as quickly as possible can mean the difference between a cure and a lifetime of invasive spinal surgeries.
Thank you, sweetheart, for saying that. Like that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is.
Time and doctors that aren't experienced in early onset scoliosis, they may deal with adolescent, which is so completely different. Treatment is so completely different to that of early onset scoliosis.
Apple and oranges.
Exactly. And they don't understand the urgency, because it's so rare as well. They don't see many infants and babies with curves in their spine, and so they don't understand the urgency.
There's a huge culture of don't question me here, Donna, too.
So I'm wondering if there's been a change in that culture, Donna, and if you've been able to educate people on advocating for themselves.
Yeah, I try to, and we did have a meeting with the Belfast Trust over Zoom, and the health minister for Ireland for the north of Ireland at the time, and one of the orthopedic surgeons in Belfast, and Dr. Pace had agreed to take them over or have them over to train them. And they had a Zoom call, Dr. Pace and the doctor in Belfast.
This guy was really passionate about it, the doctor in Belfast.
No, not that one. And they turned them down. They turned Dr. Pace down.
And there's even a frame in Ireland.
Yeah. We have the north and the south. We're up in the north. I think the frame might be in the south.
Oh, okay.
But again, because I think waiting lists are a huge thing here. That children are on waiting lists for years and years, and at that time they wanted to focus more on trying to reduce the waiting lists as opposed to dealing with training somebody to treat early onset scoliosis, because they don't have many cases of it here. Right. So like, why should they be, why should the babies be forgot about, just because there aren't many cases?
Well,
Everybody.
it's unacceptable,
It
really.
is.
It's unacceptable. This is plaster of Paris and water is really cheap, and the frame's already there, and training is for free. So,
And as Dr. Pace, as he said to us at the time, this is a tried and tested method. It works.
Okay, now I'm wondering, you had this doctor in the very beginning who told you not to Google, and he told you to go on a nice holiday. And I've been wondering since then, since Charlie has been treated and is doing so well, have you been able to go on a vacation?
Yes, we did. We actually, when Charlie moved from cast to a brace, we actually took all of the kids over with us on that trip to Philadelphia. And one lovely mommy in the group, her name is Mary, and she kindly got us tickets to Sesame Place in Philadelphia.
Nice.
And so we
he was able to get wet. No, and he went to the beach.
Yep, we took him to Sesame Place, and we went to the Jersey. Wasn't it the Jersey Shore?
No.
No.
Well, more or less. Ocean City, New Jersey.
City, yep. And it was just fantastic. And then
what year was that?
Also celebrated, I think, when he came out of his brace and went on a trip to Florida.
Wonderful.
Well, this is a special memory for me. It is so lovely to hear Charlie's story, and you're so inspiring, and your home is lovely. I feel like I'm in your lovely home.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for inviting us to be here.
Yeah, your guy has a fro.
He sure does. A whole lot of hair. No, it's been an absolute pleasure to be asked to be on this, and it was so lovely to meet you both. And I just hope that by sharing our story, that it can help other people make that decision to go down the casting route. And if ever anybody ever wants to reach out to me, that I'm more than happy to help them.